Oh yeah, that is funky. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got this PlayStation 4 we're going to be taking a look at. It's coming as it has no display. Now the HDMI port, as you can see, doesn't look to be in terrible condition, but I don't know whether you can see or not that port is shoved, it is angled. So I'm not even going to try and turn this on. Well, I'm going to power it, but I'm not going to put a HDMI lead in. If I power it and put HDMI in like that, I could send voltage direct to the APU, and that is not something that I want to do. But we'll power it. We get a blue light. We want to see a white light, and then a restart, which we would expect to see. And we get a white light. Good. So now I've got a white light. We know it's viable. We can get this thing torn apart. T9 for these screws. We've got screws at the back as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Just grab a pair of tweezers. It doesn't actually look like it's been opened before, or somebody's got some fake stickers. I believe they're more than likely fake. So these are black screws that go in the back here. It's quite difficult to do this and show you it on camera. Whilst I'm taking this apart, if you are watching this, need a repair like this one, we accept mail-ins. All of the contact details will be in the description below. Get this hard drive pulled out of here. If it's the original drive, it should be a 500 gigabyte HGST. It's not, it's a Samsung, which could be original to this console. Let's get the APU clamp. And then we just get the rest of the screws around this plate. Get this base off. It should just pull away from the console itself. Inside, overall, not too bad. I've seen much worse with PlayStations, a lot worse. Let's get this power supply out. And then carefully just lift one side, press against the other, mindful of your fingers. Try and separate this. There we go. Put the power supply to one side. Has been opened before, so that's actually a good thing in some respects. It's been very well put back together. Get that unclipped. There's normally a screw just down in here, which we would see if the console had never been opened. But it does make me wonder what we're going to see by that port. HDMI encoder's never been changed. That's completely original. The shield never goes back on a machine if it's been changed. And then we get this board out, and oh yeah, that is funky. So let me see if I can show you how angled that actually is, and I'll show you the damage we're looking at as well. So as you can see, the port, it's completely smashed up, pins shoved out the back. Just a case of getting that one changed. You need to keep these heat sinks off the RAM. First things first, get this port off. To do that, I'm going to use my hot air. I'm going to be at full pelt, 480 degrees C, and 99% airflow. I'm not worried about anything else around it. And there we go, easy as that. Show you the underside of that port. That is completely and utterly broken. Completely and utterly. So we'll get that one out of the way. Next thing we need to do, get some flux, some liquid flux. Place that all around here. Soldering iron turned on, so we go for 430 because we've got ground planes to worry about. And we'll just flood this with some much better solder. I have got a microscope. I'm choosing to try and show you guys a real world scenario. If you haven't got a microscope, what could you do? Get that cleaned with a little bit of IPA and a clean room cloth. Just have a look under the microscope. There you go. As you can see, that is a nice tidy little area. There's lots of nice solder on there. What we're going to try and do is heat from underneath, same way we were doing before. Drop that port on, and fingers crossed, with a little bit of luck, that's secured. And second thoughts, what I'm going to do is try and clean out these ground holes so that I can sit this port flat. To do that, I'll need a solder sucker, my hot air from underneath. I'm going to try and do it without knocking any components around. See the solder beginning to melt. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to sit this port in here. And I can just about see the angle's quite difficult, but I can just about see that port will drop on very nicely. A little bit more flux. Back on with the hot air, and let's drop this port into place. That port seems secure, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to check all of these pins, make sure they are secure. That one's not secure. So just the one, which isn't a bad effort at all. It's a little bit more tricky as we get to this side. I'm just going to turn the iron. Try and do this right-handed. Pour some IPA down there. Clean with a brush. Come back in with our clean room cloth. Just keep the area nice and tidy. Back in and check these pins. So now I'm going to turn this board over and we're going to concentrate on these ground holes. So these are going to want lots and lots of flux. They're a very high heat area and lots of solder. Bit more flux down here. You want to push that solder through onto the other legs. That would be the ideal, just to really secure this port into place. Give that a clean. Well, we'll turn this over and have a look, and we just about got solder coming through, but I'm not entirely happy, so I'm going to just put a bit more flux down here and just hold my iron around here. There we go, that's what we want to see. Perfect. That's lovely and secure. As always, if you've worked there, clean it up. Easier to clean it now than it is after the fact. Sometimes you have to change so much stuff on a board that actually it's better just to ultrasonic the whole thing once it's clean. But there we go. Nice shiny joints, definitely secure. We can worry about getting this back together for testing. So for testing purposes, to be honest, there isn't any thermal paste on this board, so we'll loosely clean that off. Throw the incorrect amount of thermal paste on there. Remember to connect the fan. Let's just put this on for the sake of putting it on. By this I mean the metal plate. A couple of screws in. Bottoming out, don't push them. Bring in our power supply. That is sat nicely. Some power. And fingers crossed. There we go. Bring back our hard drive. A HDMI cable. So, let's finally get to testing. There we go. We're on a white light. Let's have a look. Absolutely perfect. We'll just connect a controller. Make sure this connects to Wi-Fi, automatic downloads. Turn all of that off. Good. It connects to Wi-Fi, video output, make sure it does do 1080p, yeah, you are fine. Put that back to automatic. I don't have a test disc here, but before this goes up for sale, I will absolutely make sure I do have a test disc and it's had a service and a good clean and everything else that belongs with it. So that's going to be all for this video, people. Thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment below. This is a work in progress. We're coming back after a long break. Let me know what you'd like to see, what improvements you think we can make, and we'll take them on board, and if they're good enough, we'll utilise them going forward. Until the next one, take care of yourselves and each other.